Hello everyone, hope you're doing good. Today we will learn about this particular snippet, one of the most used snippet, and if you're a beginner um, it might cause confusion, especially if you come from other languages such as C++ and Java. Alright, so in order to understand this, let us get into um, uh, command line and try to execute this. Python tough. So it just prints this particular statement. So you might be thinking that what is the big deal here? So I can simply copy this and paste it here, and I can get the same result now as well. It's a good question. So in order to understand that, what we'll do is we'll try to import this particular function in another file and try to see how it behaves. So I'm just importing it here, and let us try to execute that program. So as you see here, we imported it here, especially if we're coming from other languages. When we do import libraries like hash include stdio.h, so it just replaces the code that is present in stdio.h. But in Python, it's slightly different. In Python, since it's an interpreted language, so it imports this file and starts executing all the statements that are in this particular file. So that's the behavior of Python. And since it executes this statement in line number 5, we are seeing this particular output here. So what is the big deal now? So how does this come into picture? All right, so let us try to put it back, and then let us try to execute the same program again. Python tougher.py. Now you see that this particular statement did not get printed here. So what is the catch here? That means if I use this particular statement, it won't be called in when you try to import it. So that's the basic thing about this particular statement. So how does this work? So let me try to just put a print statements and try to print object's name. So in Python, every object, everything is an object, and every object has got a name, and it can be accessed using a dunder variable, or it's also called as magic variables. So if you use double underscore name and double underscore, so it's an inbuilt attribute inside any object. So let us try to print it. So if you look at this, the name of this particular object when we import it here is tough, and when we do the same thing, when we try to execute the same program here, you can see that the name has changed to double underscore main. That means the program or the module, when we import, it gets a different name, and when we try to execute it from the command line, it gets a different name. So this is when we import it, and this is when we run it from the command line. So that is how this particular snippet works. And when do we use this? So use case is that sometimes you want to test out your particular module without importing it, because you don't have to think about who is importing it and stuff like that. You can just use it here and check in the code without thinking about who is using it, because this guy won't be executing this particular snippet because this condition fails. So when he imports, the name becomes tough here, and he ignores this code won't get executed. So that is the use case. All right, I hope you learned something new, and thank you for watching.